Some voices tell the story of an entire people. Voices that carry exile, pain, nostalgia, and hope. In the history of Algerian Chaâbi music, one voice became the voice of working-class neighborhoods, of cafes of exile, and of immigrant workers. That voice is Dahmane El Harrachi. Singer, songwriter, and composer, he transformed traditional Chaabi into music of real life, sung in the language of the people. This is the story of a master of Chaabi, a free man, and an exile whose voice became universal. Abderrahmane Amrani was born on July 7, 1926, in El Biar, a neighborhood in Algiers. His family came from Jelal, a village in the Kenchela province, deep in the heart of the Ores region, a land of mountains and resilience. His father had moved to the capital, Algiers, in 1920, where he found work as a muezzin at the Great Mosque, calling the faithful to prayer 5 times a day. Soon after Abderrahmane's birth, the family moved to Belcourt, and then finally settled in El Harrachi, a bustling working-class district that would forever shape his identity. As the youngest of 11 children, he grew up surrounded by the sounds and struggles of his community. It was from this neighborhood that he would later take his stage name, Dahmane El Harrachi. Dahmane, a common nickname for Abderrahmane, and El Harrachi, the man from El Harrachi. From a very young age, Dahmane was drawn to music. He learned to play the banjo, an instrument that was becoming central to the sound of modern Chaabi. His fingers quickly found their rhythm on its strings, and his ear was tuned to the melodies of the masters. He was particularly captivated by the songs of Khalifa Belkacem, a renowned Chaabi singer. By the time he was just 16, Dahmane was already performing Belkacem's songs, his passion and talent obvious to everyone who heard him. But life wasn't just music. After finishing school, he took on practical jobs to make a living. First, he worked as a shoemaker, mending the shoes of the people in his neighborhood. Then he became a tram ticket collector, crisscrossing the city and observing its daily life. But his musical gift couldn't be contained. Word of his talent spread quickly, and by the 1940s, he found himself accompanying some of the biggest names in Chaabi music. He played alongside legends like Haj Menouar, Sheikh Mohammed Bourahla, Sheikh El Bouni, Abdelkader Uchala, and the great Sheikh El Haznawi. He was learning from the masters, honing his craft, and preparing for the next chapter of his life, a chapter that would take him far from home. In 1949, at the age of 23, Dahmane El Harrachi did what so many young North African men of his generation did. He left for France. He was seeking opportunities, a new life, a different horizon. His journey took him first to Lille in the north, then to the port city of Marseille, before he finally settled in Paris, the city that would become his home for most of his life. In the heart of the French capital, he found his stage in the North African cafes. These were more than just places to drink coffee. They were vibrant social hubs, community centers for immigrant workers who were far from home. Dahmane became a regular performer, his banjo and voice filling the smoky air of places like the famous Café des Artistes. It was in these cafes, among the men who worked in factories and on construction sites, that he had a profound realization. The traditional Chaabi music, with its classical poetry from the Melhoun tradition, felt distant. It didn't speak to the harsh daily reality of immigrant life, the back-breaking work, the profound loneliness, the gnawing nostalgia for a homeland they might never see again. And so, Dahmane El Harrachi dared to do something revolutionary. He decided to change everything. He began writing his own songs, creating a new musical and poetic language. He wrote about the experience of exile, the dignity of labor, the ache of loneliness, and the bittersweet memories of home. He created a modern, popular Chaabi, sung in the everyday dialect of the people. It was raw, honest, and powerful. But this new style wasn't always welcomed by the official cultural circles, who often saw it as a departure from tradition. For Dahmane, however, it was a necessary evolution. It was music for the people, by the people. In 1956, while the Algerian War of Independence was raging, Dahmane El Harrachi walked into the Pate Marconi studios and recorded his first disc. This was a pivotal moment. His music, born from the experience of exile, now reached a wider audience, resonating deeply with the Algerian diaspora in France and with those back home. Over his career, his creativity seemed boundless. He composed a vast repertoire of more than 500 songs, each one a small masterpiece of observation and emotion. The El Harrachi style was unmistakable. He modernized Chaabi music with his unique percussive way of playing the banjo and the mandol, an instrument he helped popularize. His voice wasn't polished or operatic. It was raw, earthy, and full of lived experience. It was the voice of a man who had seen it all, but his true genius lay in his lyrics. He used powerful, everyday metaphors to talk about universal themes. He sang about the pain of exile, the importance of family and friendship, the necessity of human dignity, and the moral compass that guides a person through life's challenges. His songs were like conversations, offering wisdom, comfort, and a shared sense of identity to a generation caught between two worlds. Then, in 1973, he composed a song that would cement his name in history. That song was Ya Rayah, which translates to, "O you who are leaving." The lyrics are a poignant piece of advice to someone about to emigrate, warning them about the illusions of exile and the inevitable regret. "O you who are leaving," he sings, "where are you going? In the end, you will tire and return. How many ignorant people have regretted it before you and me?" The song struck a powerful chord. It became an instant anthem for the Algerian diaspora, played in every cafe, every home, at every celebration. It perfectly captured the complex emotions of departure and the longing for return. For years, it was a beloved classic within the North African community. Then, in 1997, something incredible happened. The French-Algerian artist Rachid Taha, with his rock energy, covered Ya Rayah. His version was an electrifying fusion of Chaabi, rock, and electronic music. It exploded onto the global music scene, becoming a massive worldwide hit. Suddenly, people from all corners of the globe, who didn't understand a word of Arabic, were singing along to Dahmane's timeless melody. Through Taha's tribute, the song found a new, universal audience, and its original creator, Dahmane El Harrachi, was finally recognized as the legend he had always been. On August 31, 1980, Dahmane El Harrachi gave what would be his final performance in Ain Benyan, a coastal town near Algiers. He had returned to his homeland, the place his music had yearned for. After the show, on his way back along the coastal road, he was killed in a tragic car accident. He was just 54 years old. The voice of exile had fallen silent, but his music was immortal. He left behind an immense musical heritage, a treasure trove of songs that continue to inspire and move listeners. His legacy is not just preserved in old recordings, it is a living tradition. His son, Dahmane El Harrachi, is a talented musician in his own right, and he has dedicated his life to preserving and transmitting his father's music, ensuring that the El Harrachi style continues to thrive and evolve for new generations. Dahmane El Harrachi was not just a singer. He was a poet of real life, a philosopher of the streets and the popular conscience of Chaabi music. He gave a voice to the voiceless, turning the pain and hope of Algerian exile into universal art. Today, his voice still echoes in the cafes of Paris and Algiers, in the suitcases of those who leave and the hearts of those who stay. It's the sound of a man who understood the human soul, a master whose music belongs to everyone. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to Berber History and Tradition for more.